There's Workbench tour number 7. This is Megan Fitzpatrick's Workbench, which is made from Glulam. And normally I would let Megan speak for herself, but you know, because of the current events, that's not possible. So I'm not going to put words in Megan's mouth. You'll have to ask her about her own opinions about the bench, but here are mine. The most unusual aspect of the bench is, of course, the bench top. So this is made from Glulam beams that we ripped and then rotated 90 degrees and then re-glued them together to make one giant sandwich of Glulam. It's probably about 30% glue and 70% wood. It was really hard on the tools, all the glue, but it wasn't terribly difficult. I will say that the great thing about this bench is this Glulam top. It is flat, it has remained flat, it has taken a beating. It's really, surprised me. It's also quite thin, but because of all the glue and the way and the structure of it, it's really stiff. So the top is 24 inches wide, almost 8 feet long, really perfect, kind of ideal size for a cabinet making workbench, and faced with maple just so that it looked pretty for the magazine cover. One of the things that isn't ideal about the bench has been the leg vise. Not the screw or just the leg vise in particular, but the way that the bench top is connected to the base is with these lag screws, and that is just not enough. No matter how big the lags or how well they are installed, eventually the leg vise is going to push the bench top off of the base, which is exactly what has happened here. And after fiddling with it, we just installed a little spacer piece, a little packer there, which takes care of it for now. But it needs to be modified. The sliding dead man / dead woman still works really well and comes into play at times when students or Megan playing wide boards, and it's also great holdfast storage for the entire shop. I haven't been all that thrilled with this little face vise from Lee Valley. I don't know if we just got a bad one. I've used several of them that are really good, but this one just seems to get jammed up a lot, and so I've had to clean it off and lubricate it and tighten it up quite a bit. But it serves as the end vise for this bench with a row of 3/4 inch dogs that we usually put the Lee Valley bench dogs in, or wooden ones here in this case. Megan has always been agreeable to let me modify her bench when I want to experiment, and one of those modifications has been this Lee Valley quick release tail vise, which is very clever and works really well. I don't have anything bad to say about it. Except that it doesn't look traditional, but Lee Valley's stuff never does. And so get what you buy there. We've also installed these casters on these flip down panels so that you can lift the bench up and put these casters down and move the bench, which we do quite a lot. And I have it in this position now because I've been moving it around all week. It works. I mean, like everything, it works. It's not perfect, but it does move the bench around. One of the less than ideal aspects of the Glulam is in the base. And these are pieces of Glulam that have been painted and bolted together. And it seems like you tighten the bolts, and it just compresses the layers. So it feels like we're tightening this up more than we are with other benches that have these sorts of fasteners. But, not a big deal, but it is a deal. And of course, a shelf. This is the most recent addition to the bench. We just really need the space for jigs and appliances and other stuff. And so I really got on Megan about it and finally just sort of twisted her arm until she put this cheesy plywood shelf in. But it works great, better than nothing. And of course, as I showed you on some of the other benches, we have a bench light here that moves around in dog holes. Essential for older woodworkers. all in all, I really like the bench, and we work at it quite a bit. It's really takes a beating. I didn't think I would be very appreciative of this modern material, but it really has surprised me in a lot of ways. So if you do have access to Glulam beams, I definitely recommend it for the top, especially if you can get scraps. 8-foot long scraps are not uncommon on a construction job. But other than that, it's a straight up kind of French style bench with modern materials, and is what Megan works on now until she decides otherwise.